Hello, everybody, and welcome to Common Sense View. My name is Michael, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, I will be glad if you will subscribe to help me grow this channel, and also like and leave your comment. Let's make this a discussion, not just a monologue. There are multiple developments in the world today, and none of them is sounding good. I start with the development here in Sweden, where I live. Yesterday, Daily Mail carried the news that Sweden tells citizens to prepare for war. 5 million households get pamphlets on how to get their home ready for nuclear Armageddon, as Biden is accused of trying to start World War III. What this is all about is, in Sweden, there is a tradition of giving the people information on emergency preparedness. Things like flooding, natural disasters, or sometimes in the case of war, and to help people to know what is the best practice on how to survive at least 1 week before there's a possibility of help, depending on where you live. However, one thing is unique about this distribution at this point in time. What is that? What is unique is the fact that at the same time Sweden was distributing this pamphlet, Finland is doing a similar thing, and Norway is also doing a similar thing. And the three countries cited the fact regarding the Russian aggression, which according to them is spilling over, and they anticipate a full-blown war. And you may ask, why is a full-blown war being anticipated at this point in time, when the war has been going on for the past 3 years? Is there something they are seeing that nobody else is seeing? Or is there something going on underneath that they have covered from the people? I can't answer that. I can only say what I know, and I don't believe in diving into conspiracies. However, I can also make some deduction from what is going on in the world. Just yesterday, Joe Biden lifted the restriction they had on Ukraine as regards using US-made missiles to strike deep into Russia. I think this website, Redacted, captured it more extensively. Let's see what they have regarding that.
Dying breath before leaving office, President Biden has given Ukraine authorization to start using long-range weapons to attack Russia. The timing of all of this is very interesting, according to the New York Times, and then confirmed by the Wall Street Journal that, yes, this is in fact the case. And just a short time ago, the son of George Soros posted on X, "This is great news that President Biden has for the first time authorized Ukrainian forces to use Western-made long-range weapons to strike inside Russia." Well, Putin has responded, and our next guest is the former UN weapons inspector, former U.S. Marine Scott Ritter, who posted on Telegram just a short time ago that this is an existential threat to Russia and really a pivotal moment in this war, and we wanted to invite Scott on to provide some analysis. Scott, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So how do you believe, there's been a lot of big moments in this war. Do you think this perhaps is the most pivotal moment right now? And why do you think it's an existential threat for the future of Russia?
Well, first, let's start with two things. One, this isn't the first time that this issue has come up to the White House level. If you recall, back in September 13th, Joe Biden held a meeting at the White House. Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, came to this meeting with a British diplomatic pouch inside which were documents that Starmer wanted Biden to sign, authorizing Great Britain to release the Storm Shadow cruise missiles so that Ukraine could strike targets deep inside Russia, and also have the United States do the same thing with the ATACMS missile. The day before, September 12th, Vladimir Putin made an appearance on television and said, if this happens, it will be a declaration of war against Russia and will be treated accordingly. That the United States and Great Britain will have become parties to the conflict. NATO will have become a party to the conflict. On September 13th, because apparently Biden didn't get the message, the Russian ambassador to the United Nations made the same thing, that a declaration of war will have been made if this happens. The Russian ambassador to the United States, Anatoly Antonov, was in conversation, was called by people close to the Biden administration, no longer in government, but still talking, saying, is this true? And Antonov said, yes. Not only that, the United States will not be able to hide behind the Atlantic Ocean, that this war will go nuclear and the targets will include the United States.
No one actually knows how many people who will die if this war is allowed to enter the way the direction is going now, which is World War III. Some people are estimating that at least 90% of the world population, especially in the areas Europe and America, will die. No one can tell. But even if it is one person that dies, I still consider it one person too many. Because from the get-go, I have always reiterated that this war, first, shouldn't have been started. It shouldn't have been started. And secondly, peace negotiation would have gone quicker than what is going on now. The strength of will used to declare this mandate, as a matter of fact, would have been used to negotiate peace. Even on the horizon is Trump, who vowed not to go into further the war, but put it to a stop. In his own word, I just want the people to stop dying. But now, it is like he has been undercut. In as much as it's less than 2 months for Biden to vacate office, or within the range, 2 months is still a hell of a lot of time when it comes to escalation of problem, crisis, disaster. We can speculate, we can conceptualize or philosophize. But in terms of war, nobody comes out unhurt. It's good to give the people of the country, the citizens, the pamphlet. At least those who will can prepare. But what are you going to prepare when you don't live? Now, as an offshoot of this incident, yesterday also, Daily Mail reported that Finland noticed underwater internet cable connecting them to Germany severed. And their first guess was that it was done by Russia. That was the headline that Daily Mail was carrying. But when you read patiently down the article, you realize that it was not even categorically certain that it was Russia. It was just a speculation. In a time like this, when everyone is on everyone's throat, it's not a time to speculate. But the people in the media just do it anyways. As long as they are the ones controlling the narrative, as long as they are writing their clickbait headlines, who cares? But people are dying. Don't you people care? Don't you people in the media care? People are dying. I would suggest if you live in Sweden, Norway, Finland, or in the Scandinavian, or in Europe, as a matter of fact, just be on the alert. Because the way we are now, where we are, is almost getting to a point of no return. I don't want to be an alarmist. Being at alert doesn't mean that you disappear from public view. No. Follow the things that are written in this pamphlet that you received today, the yellow pamphlet on crisis preparedness. Buy as much things as you can, especially non-perishable food, canned food. Get yourself this type of radio that is also a power bank and solar charge, so that at least you'll be able to disseminate information. You can make a call. You can keep your phone charged. You can have light if the electricity happens to be blown off. As I said, there has not been a declaration of war, and there has not been an insinuation that there will be war by the government. Only that the timing of this that corresponds at the same time with the timing of Biden's lifting of the embargo on shooting directly into Russia is a little bit conspicuous. It's suspicious. But when you are stocking up your house, you're not stocking up your house out of suspicion that there will be war. But do it with the mindset that your government told you to do such things in case there is any kind of natural disaster or war, or nuclear war for that matter. That being said, it is time this war is scaled down, and it's time peace is given a chance. While we are still on this, please, if you have any value from this post, please subscribe, like, and share. And back to the topic. It baffles me that Sweden has been neutral with any kind of world conflict since 1975 and 1945, and far back before then. And I think in World War I they were neutral also. And that begs the question, why did they have to join NATO now? Why now? Why now? I'm still trying to understand why now. There are reasons given on the website. I'm not convinced. It's not as if the government is lying, but I don't think it justifies the risk that involves the inclusion or the membership. Because what it implies that if there is a war today that the NATO is involved in, and there is shortage of fighters, Swedish people will be drafting to fight. And from my own limited point of view, until now, I didn't see any imminent strike from Russia to Sweden. But that is my opinion. I may be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will apologize on that. But that don't negate the fact that sending the pamphlet at this point in time does the opposite effect. It is scary. I talked to one of my friends. He said that he wasn't just so angry about it, but he was also scared. Because you never know. People say that Putin is a madman, and yet they believe that he will not use a nuclear weapon. If he is a madman and you believe he's a madman, what will stop a madman from going to that extent after having warned so severely about him? I think the German defense minister said that he usually said that, yeah. But he usually said that this is the only time, the first time that Ukraine has the authorization to strike deep into Russia. All the other time he has said this, it has been just for defense. Ukraine is defending itself with ammunition from the US. But this time around, the ammunition, American-made ammunition are used to strike deep into Russia. And they said, when this happens, we would conclude that now NATO has declared war on Russia. You might say that he's talking in hyperbole, but you cannot also conclude that he will act accordingly. You cannot hold both views at the same time. You can make your own claim that he's just talking for the sake of talking, but you cannot make the claim that he will not strike. You can only presume that he will not strike, which is dangerous in the nuclear war. Presumption is not what should be part of nuclear war. So, once again, if you live in these areas, and in Europe especially, listen to the authorities. Listen to those in authority. Follow the instruction if you got any. Prepare your family. No one knows. At the end of the day, it's a win-win. You have nothing to lose. If you stocked up your food, your house with food, and there was no war from now to this time next year, it is still your food. You ain't got nothing to lose. But it will be more deadly if you didn't have anything in your kitchen or in your store and there is war. Nobody wants to go through such experience. On that note, I thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please subscribe for more of this. Until we meet again, have a lovely time.